excited for today's live chat because I have another photographer friend, Elizabeth, here, and she's super talented. And she's the one behind Little Betty Photography. She's known for capturing such great special baby moments. So, whether you're expecting a new parent or just love baby fever like Elizabeth, I was going to say me, but I was like, wait, like Elizabeth, you're going to love this convo because I'm not a baby photographer. Elizabeth's that's her thing. She's amazing. You can see her passion with her work. So Elizabeth, welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself
Ooh.
and how Little Betty Photography came
Yeah,
to
well, thank
be?
you so much for having me. I've been excited to do this. So I've always worked with babies. I previously worked in level 3 NICUs for 23 years as a respiratory therapist. So I've always been around babies, and then especially when I had my own, it just kind of sparked this thing in me that I just wanted to kind of soak that in as much as I can. And the best way to do that is by photography. You can create those. I always say that they create tangible memories. So it's nice to have that to look back on because they just get so big so darn fast. So
I
it
know.
really is sad. They grow up so fast.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
They really
mhm.
do. Like, can you? How old is your
So my
oldest?
oldest is 24. So I actually have 5 kids. So I have a 24-year-old.
You look.
What?
I said you look
Thank
amazing.
you.
What? Yeah.
Sunscreen and skincare, ladies. Sunscreen and skincare.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. So oldest is 24 and my youngest just turned 10. And yeah, so my babies aren't babies anymore. So about 10, 13 years ago, I started dabbling really heavily in newborn photography. And once I decided that that was my niche and what I really was passionate about, um, I started training. So I started traveling the US and going to these one-on-one, one-on-two workshops with these really amazing international newborn photographers, really, and learning from the best.
That's
And so
awesome.
once you start learning safety and posing and lighting and things like that, then I just kind of hit the ground running, and it's here we are 10 years later. So yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a wild ride, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
That is so cool. And I love hearing where you started, what inspired you, your kids. So tell me, where did the name Little Betty Photography come from?
So that is such a personal. I love this question. But it's a personal name, it's a family name. So my name's Elizabeth. My grandmother's name was Elizabeth. And back in the day, Elizabeth's nickname was Betty. And so my grandmother was called Betty. That was her nickname, but she went mostly by Betty. And my grandfather used to call me Little Betty. And so when I was looking for a name, I mean, there's
Oh,
all these really cute baby names out there, but then I wanted something to kind of remind me why I was doing it and to really bring a personal spin to it. And so Little Betty popped in my brain and I haven't looked back.
I know we've known each other for a bit. I've been super curious to ask you that. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. A little bit of really personalized touch
Yeah.
there. So tell me, Elizabeth, what does your typical session look like with you? Like, kind of walk us through it.
So for a newborn session, I love to have my clients come in beforehand. You've been to the studio, so you've seen, but it is stocked full. I mean, anything and everything you can think of,
Yeah.
it's got. Every color, backdrop fabric, outfits, bonnets, tiebacks, props, um, all the different things and vibes and feelings that you would want, we can personalized to your newborn session. So I love to have my clients come in first so they can kind of acclimate themselves and see the space and really start pulling some of the items from the studio to make it a personal experience. I always say to my clients, they're your pictures, not mine. I don't have to look at them for the rest of my life. You do. So I really want to make sure my clients are happy with the aesthetic of their session. So that's why I'm huge on letting my clients pick the props and pick their items for their session. And so that way, when they come back for their session, everything's set up and ready to go. We can just kind of hit the ground running. And my full newborn sessions include family and sibling shots. And I actually have two lifestyle areas that I can
Oh,
pose in just so it's more of a relaxed type feel to it. It's not so Olin Mills kind of rigid. And we start there and then we just kind of go. It all depends on baby, but that's pretty much how those run.
I love it. Yeah, no, your studio is packed with all the good stuff. You can tell you've been collecting
Mhm.
them or getting them, for a while because not, those things are not easily collected like within a short period of time. So everything that you have, you can tell you've accumulated throughout the years, which is amazing. And I love that you have different scenarios for
Mhm.
different things, whether it's like a studio type, bed,
Mhm.
couch and stuff. You have like just all the options.
I
I love
want to
that.
have a space that is comfortable for my clients, is a relaxed space, because then that creates the baby to be in a relaxed type of environment.
Mm.
But I want my clients to come in and make themselves at home, because while they're there, I jokingly say I'm their babysitter. I used to teach CPR, so your baby's in great hands. So go take a nap or, just relax and enjoy your time.
Oh my gosh, I would love that. I remember those times like I tried, when you didn't appreciate naps growing
Hmm.
up and then you become a mom and you're like, when can I nap? When can I put that nap
Oh,
time?
yeah. Build in the nap time.
Yes. So, Elizabeth, what's one of your most memorable shots you've done so far?
Oh man, I there's a special place in my heart for parents that have gone through the IVF journey, whether they are struggling with infertility, whether they are same-sex couples. There's unfortunately we're seeing this rise of needs for fertility treatments. And I had this special
Yeah.
client, and it's kind of the Pinterest worthy shot. It's actually going to get blown up and put in the studio. It's one of my favorites. But I have a heart bowl. So it's a wooden bowl in the shape of a heart. Baby's in this really cute knitted pink romper. And the day before their shoot, the mom came and dropped off all the needles, all the bottles. All the needles were capped. Everything was safe. Don't worry. But they dropped off everything that encompassed their IVF journey. And so I
Oh.
built this very intricate heart around the bowl with all of the different items. And it still gives me chills to see it, because I was very blessed to not have to worry about that. And so I can't imagine the struggle that these parents go through. And so it just means so much to me to be able to capture that journey in one picture with the final, like, you just crossed the finish line, here's your baby. So it's nice to just have that whole
Yeah.
thing, kind of that whole journey, right, kind of in one picture.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. And it's like, it pulls the
Mhm.
heartstrings, like to see like all your hard work
Mhm.
pay off and, your family
Yeah.
complete.
Yeah. It gets
Oh.
you.
So,
It hits
it
you.
hits you. Yeah. Even me thinking like, a lot of people or families like go through the
Mhm.
struggle and like the wait and not being even sure,
Mhm.
right? So that's a great way to celebrate the
Mhm.
journey. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. And so, what's your favorite age or like stage to photograph and why?
I prefer under 2 weeks. And I say that because that's before typically a lot of the baby acne kind of hits, and the blotchier redness kind of hits. Um still in that time period, they do, most babies are still a little jaundiced and their skin coloring is still a little wonky, but they sleep better. And the other thing too is typically after 2 weeks, we start going through growth spurts. So they start wanting to cluster feed, whether it be breastfeeding or bottle feeding. And so it can make it kind of difficult for us to get all of those really sleepy shots, but also kind of stressful for the baby too, because they just get to sleep and then we wake them up, and then they just get to sleep and then they wake them up. So I personally love 8 to 10 days. That's my sweet spot. That's like the what I go for. But with that being said, I've had babies come in for a newborn session and they're 2 months
Mm.
old because whether they were
Oh.
in the NICU for an extended amount of time or mom
Oh
had a
yeah.
really tough postpartum, whether it be depression or healing, and that was just as soon as they could get out. And some of my best
Yeah.
babies have been a month old, shockingly enough. So I
Oh.
always say the baby's never too old for a newborn picture. Or newborn session, but I would say the definitely those younger dates are the better ones to have. Yeah.
Oh. That's
There's
so
a science
cute.
to
I
it.
didn't. I see. I didn't even know that. I'm like eight
Yeah.
to ten. I see. I didn't know. I'm just like your
You're a
baby.
baby,
You're a
you're a
baby.
baby. You're supposed to be sleeping. Why aren't you sleeping?
But you're right. Once you're born, some of them have the redness,
Hmm.
jaundice, and discoloration a little
Yeah, it's
bit.
those
So
little
that's
circulatory systems are still trying to figure it all out. So it can take them a little bit for their skin to
oh,
become less blotchy and stuff like that.
there we
Yeah.
go. Well, see, I'm
Yeah.
learning something all the time. Every time I go live. So, for parents who are nervous about newborn shots, what advice do you have for them?
Um, do your research. So a lot of times I'll get parents that are, really wanting newborn photos and they just kind of go
Mhm.
with the first person that they see. Not realizing that there really is a lot of training that goes into this. Obviously, newborn safety is the number one priority for all of it, especially with all the posing and stuff. And so my biggest amount of or my biggest piece of advice is to definitely do research on your newborn photographer and call a couple of them or email a couple of them and interview them. Interview your photographer. It's best for both
Mhm.
parties. I mean, and you can I'm sure you will agree with this, but it's best to manage the expectation from both sides of the table. Like the client's going to want something, and so we need to make sure we can meet that expectation so that everybody's happy in the end. So I always say don't be shy. Contact the newborn photographer and really interview them, like grill them. And there's a good handful of us here in town that I would trust. And there's some, while I love that newborn is there is what something that they're passionate about and they want to get into it, I just suggest that they get a little bit more training, a little bit more education under their belt. That way, baby's safe, because when baby's safe, parents are calm, parents are chill. And so parents want to be able to trust who's handling their baby. So if newborn photography is something you want to get into, to any other photographers out there, I can contact me. I can give you a list of great people that teach. But get some education, get some skill, get some practice. It's good for you because the parents' trust in the end is everything.
100% agree. No, no, that's all, Elizabeth. Hands down. Like, yeah, no. Fortunately, I do not specialize in newborns or baby, so that's all Elizabeth right there.
I'll take them all. I'll take them
And
all.
as far as booking, how far in advance should clients book with you?
It's so funny. I've had some clients that like have just peed on the stick and gotten their response and they've called me. um, I would definitely say when you get past the first trimester, when you get into the second trimester, that's when you really want to start um, putting or finding and interviewing your newborn photographer. There's a lot that goes into the session. These sessions, the full newborn sessions, are 3 hours long. Then I have to cull them down. Then I
Mm-hmm.
have to
Yep.
show you what images, and you pick the images that you want. And so all of that takes a lot of time. And so for me to be able to handle all of my
Yeah.
clients, I have to cap how many I take a month, how many I take a week, because there's just not enough hours in the day, as many of us have noticed. So I would definitely say second trimester, figure out your newborn photographer. Most of us can sneak you in if it's too late. If you've just had the baby and you're like, oh my God, I really want pictures, don't let it derail you. Still call us. Most of us will still find a spot for you. But if you really want to be prepared and planned, second trimester is the best.
Absolutely. The sooner the
Mm-hmm.
better, right?
Yeah,
Are you
can you
there?
hear me?
Okay, so how do you keep the little ones calm during your session? Like any secret tricks that you do, or what is your go-to thing that you do to keep them kind of calm, chill? Because your photos, like how do you get the baby so calm? And I'm a mom of three, and I don't think my kids at that age stayed so still. So, you know, besides keeping the room warm, like
Mhm.
what other things do you do?
So keeping the room warm, I give all of my newborn clients a prep guide before they come in. That way we can kind of start it 24 hours prior. And things like keep away from
Mm-hmm.
spicy foods, especially if mom's breastfeeding. So the spicy foods, the caffeine, gassy foods, like it's even in my prep guide, like stay away from broccoli. Like broccoli always makes them gassy, so stay away from broccoli. Um, so we really start the prepping process like 24 hours prior. And then also things like feeding them before they get there or being prepared to whether if baby's exclusively breastfed, cool, like that's awesome. Then how can I aid mom in still being able to breastfeed while us keeping it in a calm environment? If mom's okay with feeding with a bottle, then we prep a bottle so that I can feed the baby and we can just kind of keep
Mm.
going with the flow of the pictures. Um, Definitely keep
Mm-hmm.
it warm in the studio. I always jokingly say it's like beef group yoga in there because it gets pretty darn warm and toasty. The lights are dim. White noise machine. There's this really cool device that's called a baby shusher, and it's literally this like cone looking thing, and it just shushes for like 45 minutes straight. And what it does is really, when you think about it, it is mimicking what blood flow sounds like and heartbeats sound like in utero. So that's why shushing is so calm to babies. I know little nugget of science in
Yeah.
there. And I I always use this trick honestly, and I call it the mute button. But if you press right here in between your eyebrows, it's really funny. But if you press it on yourself, you can feel that it forces your forehead muscles to relax, which in turn causes you
Yeah.
to kind of relax yourself and it helps them settle. So, yep, the little mute button. So if you don't want to hear if your kids are nagging, just go press the mute button and see if it works on them.
I love that. No, I think a couple years ago I shot I took photos of a baby, and definitely realized I do have to keep like the room warm, and since then I was like, nope, I'm not doing this. Because for me, like I sweat real like
Mhm, I
so
do too.
bad. Like I can be Shaquille O'Neal sweating. So for 3 hours with the
Yeah.
room that hot, I'm like,
You
ugh.
definitely are crawling
But
into
yeah,
a shower and chugging water. It can. And
water.
two, like it's already warm, and if baby is not cooperating or baby's just screaming or not comfortable or not happy, then that can get your heart rate up a little bit, which makes you sweat even more. So you're just like prone to sweating. It's just no.
I'm already sweating during a normal session. You know what more a baby session?
I
So
warn all of my clients, I'm like, listen, this hair is up in a high bun, but by the end of it, it's going to be like scraggly all over the place. I'm going to be bright red. I'm going to be sweating. I promise I'm not going to have a heart attack. I promise I'm okay. But that's just so you know, that's how I'm going to look.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick rapid fire question and answer. Just say what's top of
Okay.
mind, and we'll close out the live here soon. So, first question: coffee or tea while editing?
Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee.
Dream location to shoot a baby.
Oh man, there is this beautiful meadow at Rancho San Rafael with tall grass and green trees and logs. And I don't get to do enough outdoor newborns because it just gets too hot here. But outdoor newborns in a
Yeah.
beautiful meadow, chef's kiss.
Aw. Favorite baby name you've heard recently?
Suede. Suede.
Suede.
Yeah, he was actually my last newborn in the studio, and that name just stuck with me. And there is one other baby.
Aw.
His name was Rhett, and I always Rhett,
Wreck?
Rhetttt, Rhett,
Rhett?
and I wrap up the
Oh.
babies to get certain poses, and I jokingly say I wrap them up like a burrito. So I called him a Rettorito, and the dad or
A Rettorito.
Rettorito, and dad was like in love with the name. So that's I would say that's my second favorite name that I gave.
Aw. I love it. Okay, so what's your most used prop or color palette right now?
Green. Greens are huge right now, which I am not opposed because green's my favorite color. So, and greens go so well for both boys and girls. So it's a really gender neutral color. And I would say hands down, the number one prop that's requested is it's called a honey bucket. It's a wooden honey pot bucket, and it looks like the honey pot bucket from Winnie the Pooh. And
Oh,
so I would
yeah.
say hands down, that's the number one most requested prop.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love
it's so cute.
it. Last question for rapid fire. If you weren't a photographer, what would you be doing?
Oh my gosh. Your girl can get down on a book. So I don't know, librarian or just professional reader. I love books. And so they really kind of ground me and quiet my mind. And so I would do something in regards to reading if there is something to do there.
Do you read any self development books?
I mostly audiobook those because when I have ADHD, so when I read, if I'm not like fully like engrossed in it, then I will like squirrel. And so
Squirrel.
audiobooks typically get me better when it's like self-development books. And I would say Atomic Habits is an amazing book if anybody's wanting
It
a good
is.
self-development book.
I
Mhm.
100% agree. Small actionable
Yes.
items
Yep.
compound in time. But yeah, I know when you said squirrel, me and Monica were
Uh,
like, oh, yeah. A lot of our friends are the same.
On a hamster wheel.
We're like, oh, between me, you,
oh yeah.
Robin, all the ladies are
Uh-huh.
empowered. I feel like a lot of us are squirrel.
But I
Stephanie.
think that's us as creatives too, though. Like our minds are constantly turning in some way, shape, or form. And so I always jokingly say when I do outdoor sessions, I do have squirrel tendencies because we'll walk and I'm like, oh, I want to go right here. Ooh, I want to go right
Ooh,
there. Ooh, I want to go.
ooh,
And I know you
yeah.
can understand that.
Oh, that's cute.
Yep,
Oh,
yep,
that's cute. Let's do
yep.
it here. Yeah, no. And I'm just gonna I have to tell myself, Alfyn, just work an area one step at a time. We'll get there. I have to like calm
Mhm.
myself because I get excited too. I'm like, ooh, that's so
Yep.
cute. Ooh. But yeah. No, totally agree. Okay. So, Elizabeth, thank you so much for sharing your story and your heart and your passion. So, this is amazing. Newborn photography, like I said, that's just a special skill to have because I won't tackle it. I don't want to. you know. Oh, Monica said, did you ever had a baby poop
Oh
on you?
yeah. Actually, I have a really funny story about that. Okay, sorry, I had a call come through.
Oh
I
no,
was
what
pregnant
happened?
with my youngest
Oh,
daughter and I was like 30 weeks, so I was big. And I had just picked this baby out of like one of these like pails I had that I was doing a pose in. And right as I picked her up, she pooped all down the front of me. And I started hysterically laughing. Dad wanted to cry. He was so embarrassed. I ended up Instagramming the picture
oh.
because I thought it was so hysterical. Did I
Oh,
lose
that's always fun
you?
when kids do that. Oh my gosh. No, I feel like even as parents,
Hello.
I feel like we've got pooped on and peeved. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Technical difficulty. I can see you. I mean, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Are you there? I think I lost you.
I am. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Oh man. Okay, so let's see. Your
Hello.
audio is down. Oh, I can hear you.
Well, if you're still on, the best way to get a hold of me is Elizabeth at littlebettyphotography.com. My website is down right now just because I'm revamping it, so that's not a good way to get a hold of me. But Instagram, Facebook, I'm there. You can also give me a call, 775-291-9120. That's my personal cell, so feel free to give me a call. And yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yay! Absolutely. We'll get her information on the comments below. Like, share, tag.